Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the iRacing GT3 Challenge Series, brought to you by v8sonline, TrakRacer, Thrustmaster, and v8sonline Superstore. I'm your host tonight, Daniel Bryant. Now, men, make sure your ladies don't hear this broadcast because they will be swooning to the tone of his silky smooth voice. With me tonight, Clayton Brooks. Brooksy, how are you?
Thanks for that intro, mate. I'm sensational. How are you, Daniel?
Good, good. I'm happy to be here because we're at a fantastic track, one that we all love no matter what we're racing, here at Watkins Glen Watkins Glen's Boot. Absolutely fantastic. Always makes for interesting racing. Looking forward to it tonight.
Most definitely, mate. It's probably one of the favourite tracks of all iRacers, I'd imagine. Certainly one of my favourites. Always provides good racing, long straights, sweeping corners. Yeah, just love this track, and I can't wait to see these GT3 cars go around here.
Yeah, that's what we're waiting for, and obviously a little talk before with Leo Gray about downforce around this track. A few guys thinking about running lower downforce to get a good run down the straight, but getting into the boot makes it a little bit harder to get around. So it's really going to make things just a little bit interesting around here.
Yeah, and of course we're not fully aware of what everyone's running, so we'll be trying to pick that along the way, no doubt. But it's going to definitely provide some interesting racing. There'll be guys quicker in certain parts, and there'll be guys quicker through other parts. So yeah, I can't wait for this race. I've been looking forward to it ever since the calendar was announced.
Yeah, definitely, and we probably see a fairly good sign up for this one. Normally brings in lots and lots of numbers, and if last week was anything to go by, racing should be absolutely brilliant because Brands Hatch is normally one that's not too popular on most series, but we got a fair few sign-ups and there was some brilliant racing out the front.
Oh, wasn't there? Brands Hatch really turned it on for us last week. Probably one of the best races I've seen in a long time, and it wasn't just the front guys either, it was all up and down the field, and I really do think that Watkins can provide even better racing tonight. Yeah,
definitely. That battle that we saw, the three-way Porsche, rough battle, sorry, that was amazing. The driving in that was outstanding. And yeah, Christopher Osborne really put it on.
Oh, he certainly did. He's let's having a look through now. We've got the race preview up for you guys. We've got 12 turns tonight, 5.4 kilometres. It's a half-hour long race at the famous Watkins Glen in upstate New York. Pit lane speed of 72 kilometres an hour. We will not be needing that, of course, with only a half-hour race. It will be a sprint from start to very finish.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be brilliant. Just let it go straight away. So, roughly, what kind of lap times are we seeing around here from the leaders?
Low 44s. We've got a high 43 on pole from Julian Rodriguez tonight, and low 44s are the main, around 145s, 144s for race pace, I imagine.
Alright, let's have a quick look at the grid and who we've got out there. So, in first, Julian Rodriguez, series regular, absolutely brilliant, saw some great racing from him last race. In second we have Ade Kova, his teammate, and again really good battles between those guys. Third, we've been given permission to just call this guy Alex, so Alex is in third. In fourth we have Christopher Osborne, fifth Michael, sixth Tomas, seventh Simo, eighth Tony, ninth George Maris, 10 Matthew Edward Hill. Take the next ones.
Yeah, just after Matthew Edward Hill, we got Craig Hunter in 11th, Jonathan Sohani in 12th, Paulo Martins in 13th, Vale Riches in 14th, Rabsistin in 15th, Steve Honan 16th, 17th Nathan Grouden, August Aken in 18th, Patiri Kodavara 19th, and Guy Leach in 20th. And I'll keep going on to 21. That's why you didn't want to do this one. Then
I thought it was something at 20.
Cop Pitters Laurent in 21, Michael Schrayer 22, 23rd Richard Stemenenkovic, Cyril Rodriguez out of 24th, Leo Gray in 25th, Scott Gray 26th, 27th, Dismond Schwartz, Andrew Rainey 28th, Massimo Artiglia in 29, Mar Jones 30th, 31 Sanjan Delali, 32 for Gavin Sadler, Tim Hockenstein in 33, Ian Ford 34th, and Danny Zelia in 35th. That's a huge grid, 35 cars. I think that's the maximum this series allows, I think, Daniel.
It's a lot of cars out there. Having a look through the cars now, a lot of roughs out there. A few McLarens, not too many, but always not the best choice. We saw a McLaren take victory, being the smaller minority last race, but it looks like our series leader Julian has decided to switch over into a rough.
Yeah, we have to go back to position 14 for Bale Riches before we see our first McLaren tonight.
See, the rough might have a little bit of a speed advantage down these straights.
Of course, Pateri Kodavari's in a McLaren. He's one to watch out for. He's definitely a talented driver.
Yeah, definitely. There's looking at some of the names on here that have provided some good racing in the past for us. We've got Christopher Osborne, fantastic drive by him for most of last race. Jonathan Cellini, another guy to look out for, always puts on some really good racing. George Maris, fantastic, really good in the V8 supercars as well. Another one that we'll be looking at tonight a fair bit, Vale Ritchie's. I'm sure he's going to be one that we'll be taking a good look at. So yeah, some good guys up and down the field. I'm actually surprised not to see John Emerson or Dylan Sharman out there tonight.
Yeah, of course. Two teammates in Vale Richards and Matthew Ernesto Hill, both out there, but yeah, no John Emerson or Dylan Sharman. So the other two guys flying the TTL flag, and of course those guys are always ones to watch. There's quite a few guys up and down the field that you'd usually expect up a little bit higher. So hopefully we see some good passing tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, everything's sorted out on qualifying time, so you know sometimes it's hard to get that fast lap in that you really want. And looking at these times, they're all fairly close. So obviously, you know, over a minute 45, minute 43 lap, to have all those times so close, it's really tough. But in saying that, it's all about racing, and there's a lot of really good passing opportunities here.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right, Daniel. Anyone can put down that one fast lap through the week, but your racecraft is something completely different. And yeah, you've either got it, you don't. I definitely don't have it, but it's good to see the guys that do have it and make those nice clean passes.
Yeah, definitely. This start's going to be interesting. This will make or break this race, I think.
Of course, there's first, second and thirds, 3 internationals. First Aussie in there is Christopher Osborne. He was the one that provided a lot of the excitement last week.
Well, these guys should have done enough laps around Watkins Glen to know that you're definitely not going to win this one on the first corner.
They just rolling through the final corner now.
Everyone's checking up now. Oh, we've got a little bit of a tap further back. Doesn't look too bad.
Julian's got away nicely from the pole position.
Julian and Dave, both a really good run. Christopher Osborne moves up into third.
Yeah, around the outside.
The outside through here. Gets that position as all the other guys come running through. Looks like we've had a pretty clean run there through the first turn.
Yeah, all the guys got up through the S's okay by the looks of that. The bus stop's where the action's going to be, so you're going to want to get that early move done. Oh, gee, you've got Craig, Hunter and Steve Hunter too wide, and we've got a car off from the bus stop.
Oh, we've got a few cars. Oh, looks like Nathan.
Oh, we've got Jackson at the bus stop was the one spot there.
Oh, they're still sitting. There's a McLaren and a rough that aren't moving.
Nathan Groudon's Porsche is absolutely wrecked. He can't even keep it straight. That's a race over for Nathan Groudon. Ramsden looks like to be the first one to go off through the bus stop, and it set off a chain reaction. Cars just had nowhere to go.
Yeah, it's not good to see. Obviously, it's easy to go too hot there into the bus stop and not being able to pull it up.
They would have divided the field into two halves now.
That front pack looks like they've kind of settled out a bit. Julian with a nice little lead there. Christopher Osborne not letting a day get too far away though.
Got too wide. We've got Michael Dudigan on the inside of Matthew and Estelle Hill.
Yeah, great racing here. Matthew Ernest Hill putting on a really tough job. It looks like he's going to get around him though. Michael, great run. Michael Matthews just lost position there to Michael. Have a look at George Maris. Pretty nice little battle here with Simo.
Yeah, and Simo's all over the back of that Vale Richies.
Yeah, Vale Richies obviously. Good to see him out there in the McLaren giving it a run.
George Maris, sorry, he's looking everywhere to get past Simo.
Bit of damage there to the front of George Maris's rough. Let's go. Oh no, there we go. Simo hit the rear quarter and sent him flying off. We'll pull that up on our race recall replay.
George Maris was very keen to get the move done there. Probably put it in a position where he was never going to make that pass.
Yeah, definitely a little bit scary. Now here's a nice little battle between teammates as Vale Richies tries to make a move on Matthew Ernie Hill. Just looking at the side of his rush, looks like he's got a fair bit of damage.
Yeah, it's Matthew Emilio Hill. He's really good run the S's. It's good to see what he gives McLaren's on the straight line speed heading up the bus stop, but George Maris is going to make it 3 wide.
Vale Richies, beautiful move there. Estefan had nowhere to go.
Yeah, that moves his Vale Richies up into 10th, and George Maris heading into the boot has a look down the inside of. Oh, he doesn't. Thinks better of it. He's got to run on the inside here. That's job done, and Matthew Ernie Hill drops back another position.
Christopher Osborne up the front has lost position there to Alex. Didn't get too far away though. Now guy.
Alex just in front, he's having a little bit of a blink. It's hugely off-putting. I can't stress how off-putting that is to the driver following.
I'm just having a look through our field, and someone we haven't really looked at yet, Jonathan Cellini, had a fairly big win so far. Started off in 12th, currently sitting 8th.
Yeah, because he was having a terrific run last week at Brands Hatch, I think. I think I've had a mental problem. He come away with podium position last week.
Yeah, pretty much gifted to him as Christopher Osborne gets spun.
Oh, that's lucky. He was sitting in fourth.
Looks like he's gone in there a little bit too hot. Just pull that up on the race recall replay.
Yeah, he had the outside line heading into the bus stop, and probably not enough room given by Uber driver there. It's very tough spot to pull that kind of move off. I've seen it a lot in the V8s, but those guys race against each other quite a bit more than these GT3 cars. So
yeah, definitely, and you take into account lag factor, and also, you know, you can put a bit of biff in the V8 supercar, a little bit of aero damage to one of these cars, and you're really regretting it. As Alex, looks like he's starting to struggle a little bit.
Matthew
Tony Aldridge.
He's already cut in there. Daniel, Matthew Eduardo Hill had a off coming out of the boot, and that's let Craig Hunter through now.
Looks like he's starting to pull that up on the race recall replay. But it looks like Matthew Estefan Hill is really struggling at the moment.
Yeah, he just got a little bit loose on the corner exit, and Craig Hunter, easiest pass he'll make all night. Got Mickle, he's got a good run on Tony Aldridge heading up towards the boot. They've also got Alex just in front of him. Thinks better of it, pulls in behind Tony Aldridge.
Now, Tomas is the one that's lost out somewhere here, because he was sitting right behind Alex before, and now it looks like he's about to get a bit of grief.
Yeah, the thing with this boot layout, it's a lot of people like Watkins Glen, but it's quite a long lap. Oh, we've got a car around. Mickle has spun around just in front. I was just watching Tomas there through the boot, and Mickle's gone around, hit the fence hard.
The other person, pull that up on our race recall replay.
Yeah, he just got on the power a little bit too much, exited the boot and just turned the back end around, and he was a passenger from there on in.
The other person who's who just spun his car as well was Nathan Growden. It looks like he's pushing the pits for the night.
Yeah, of course Nathan was caught up in that lap 1 incident at the bus stop as well, so for a while there, pit lane, there was more cars in pit lane than on the racetrack.
Solani having a look at Tomas. It's like Val Ritchie's really doing a number in this McLaren, wide on the tail. Ready to pick up some more scraps. Solani's got a brilliant run coming in to the bus stop.
Yeah, and Val Ritchie's going to follow him through if he can. Oh,
Val Ritchie thinks better of it. Good move there by Solani. Really strong through the bus stop there.
Tomas and Val Ritchie's was so close to touching heading up that straight.
George Maris going into the mix now.
It's a good little battle pack forming up here. Just behind Maris, you've got Craig Hunter.
Matthew Eric Hill has got a nice little battle happening at the moment as Paulo Martin looks to make his way around. I think he's going to get this move done. Oh, a little bit of a tap there and a bit of a shunt. And,
this has not been a good night for Matthew Ernie Hill.
No,
so he's dropped back to 13th position now.
Seems to be getting shunted around a bit. So I'm going to quick look at our leaders, Julian and Aday. Again, they've taken out a fairly dominating lead. 5.5 seconds, the gap between Julian to Alex.
Of course, Dave Lopez, he'll be getting sick of sitting behind his teammate. He's done that for a couple of rounds now.
Looks like Tony Orchard is going to make a move now on Alex. Can try and get this podium. Side by side. Oh, he's on the grass. Oh,
no.
Alex flipped. I'm surprised. Oh, he's burst into cars. No, Ricky's McLaren. He was the one holding up the McLaren flag. That is devastating. That car is crabbing. He is not going to be able to get that back out. We'll pull that up on our race recall replay. Twice now we've seen an accident with Alex coming into that bus stop. Very hard to get that manoeuvre done around here. One little tap and these cars go flying.
Yeah, and a lot of that lead group have got quite a bit of damage to their cars. Tomas has got a bit of damage now from his contact with that McLaren.
Yeah, surprisingly, Tony Orchard doesn't seem to have suffered too badly from it. He still seems to be holding up speed all right.
Well, I think on the entry to the bus stop, he most definitely would have got a cut track penalty. So he seemed to take a hell of a lot of curb. Of course, we've got George Maris all over the back of Tomas now, and we're not sure how much damage these cars are carrying from that incident. Oh, Tomas runs real wide on the exit of turn 1. That's going to give George Maris a sniff going up through the S's.
Yeah, he's definitely got the speed on him. Brilliant run here from George Maris. He would have enough to get this done.
Oh, he's had to go wide, otherwise he's going to run into the back of Tomas, so he's forced him wide.
Side by side. Try it on the outside.
Oh.
Doesn't give him too much room. George Maris.
There you go.
Out on top.
That's how it's done. That was a really good pass there by George Maris. We've seen a few cars try to do that manoeuvre earlier, but that was the first one that's come off cleanly.
Yeah, you definitely really got to stick to your guns and hold your line going through there. Craig Hunter and Paulo Martin having a nice little battle here.
And Guy Leach is now up in a nice position on 20. He's having a very strong run in that Repsol rough.
Yeah, and movers and shakers, silent mover, just getting drifted positions here. Jonathan Cellini's now in fourth. Christopher Osborne joining this battle. As he has a look at Guy Leach, you can see a swarm of roughs in front of him. He'll be pretty desperate to get around these. He knows he's got the speed to be up there with the front runners.
Yeah, of course, Christopher Osborne is trying to make amends from his earlier incident that he had.
I've got to say, watching Christopher Osborne, he does not like to make these races easy for himself.
No, he seems to like to do it the hard way.
And look, Christopher Osborne, looks like he's got a fairly good run here coming out of turn 1. Up through the S's.
You can tell they're driving these cars at 10 tenths. A lot of them are braking that late into turn 1. They're pretty much half the field is running wide on the exit every lap. Got to say though, apart from those few incidences where it's been some terrific battles out there tonight so far.
Fantastic.
It never fails to disappoint.
Now I'm looking at our next McLaren because we need someone to hold the flag as Codavara is fighting up the back here with Matthew Emilio Hill. Fantastic run. Looks like Matt might have the speed on Codavara on this McLaren, but just struggling to get around it.
Just ticked over a half race distance. Oh, Matthew Emma Hill runs wide again at that corner. He's having some real trouble even understeer into that corner there.
I think that has to be the quickest 15 minutes. so far. I've never seen it go so fast. And these battles are still hot. Christopher Osborne now has Mikel right behind him.
The battle from behind Tomas, you got Craig Hunter, Paul Martins, Guy Leach, Christopher Osborne, and Michelle. That's going crazy, these guys.
Jonathan as well up in fourth. You can see Tony Autry not too far off him. He's going for a podium again. Three-tenths faster last lap. Jonathan's actually right on his tail now.
Yeah, it was 5 tenths faster than the lap before that as well, and we saw this last week from Jonathan. He's really good under brakes.
Yeah, definitely. He knows how to get the most out of this car. Tomas, Craig, all having a nice little Paulo as well.
Guy Leach and Christopher Osborne, they go too wide, entering down into the boot section of the track.
They're all ducking and weaving, looking for the move.
Osborne's going to try and over and under here on Guy Leach.
Guy Leach, really smart there, took a really shallow turn into that one.
Paulo Martins.
Christopher Osborne pulled out.
I just got to mention Paulo Martins. Oh, he spun in front of everyone.
His engine gives out.
Yeah, he was running defensive line. He's downshifted too quick and blew his motor.
It's a fairly easy thing to do in this rough. It's not the first time we've seen an engine blown from downshifting a little bit too fast.
We'll just listen.
The race recall replay.
Yeah, we'll go on board. You can just listen in and hear the downshift. We've seen a few gearboxes let go in this series so far.
Yeah, it seems to be the way that the rough's set up. Obviously, it's fairly easy to clip down through the gears really fast, and obviously the downfall of that is if you push it too far, it will give out.
Oh, we've got Jonathan Sohini. He's got the inside run into the bus stop on Tony Autridge, and done. He's got the job done.
Beautiful move there by Jonathan Solini to get that move done.
We'll get a replay of it. Just take notice of how much distance you can pull on Tony Autridge under brakes.
This battle continues to rage. Back and forward. Tony Autry now out on front. Jonathan Solini not letting him get too far away.
Tony Autry gets the move back. It's actually gapped Jonathan Solini a little bit now.
Yeah, Jonathan Solini a little bit too hot into to a corner there. Brings George Maris into this battle now.
This is about to
become a three-car battle.
Yeah, I was just about to mention these two battling. George Maris has been licking his lips.
Christopher Osborne.
Oh, Tomas.
Tomas. A little bit too hot there. Christopher Osborne grabbed another position. Oh, he spun.
Oh, no.
There's the other McLaren.
The McLaren's gone. Yeah, Tomas has had a spin at the last corner. Just trying to get the car going again. And it was Guy Leach that ran into him. Michelle ran into him. And then Terry Cordovara just had absolutely nowhere to go. And he ended up on his roof.
I'm pretty sure we can just say Tomas just Madison downed that corner.
Yeah, of course, Madison's down his famous slide and spin there while he was leading the race a few seasons ago.
He's not going to leave that one down.
Never let him leave that
George
down.
Maris ducking and weaving here around Solini. Is Tony Autridge just there as well.
Might just bring up the gains on losses for you. Tony Autridge has moved up 5 spots. Jonathan Sohani's moved up 8 spots. And one of the most impressive drives so far, Guy Leach, we've already mentioned, he's moved up 12 spots.
Great driving there by Guy Leach. Oh, bit of a tap. Maris gives Solani a bit of a tap onto that corner. Johnson will not be happy about that. A little bit too hot there from George Maris. Having a little bit look further back for Craig Hunter versus Christopher Osborne. This battle nice and close as all the other guys have fallen off behind them. But again, Jonathan Solani will definitely be keen to get back up there, so it won't be too long, I reckon, until this becomes a three-way battle. Because Osborne has a look on the outside here. Got to run, about half a car length up.
I cringe every time they want to go too wide. He thinks better of it. Jonathan Sahani's all up in the back of Osborne now because he had to brake early to pull out of that move, he was thinking.
So strong under brakes, especially coming into that bus stop.
And Christopher Osborne's going to have to get this move done if he wants to on Craig Hunter, because I reckon Jonathan Sahani's not going to hang around with only 7 minutes and 40 seconds left in this race. No,
definitely not. He'll want to get up there. Hopefully George Maris gets on the back of Tony Ortridge to make this battle interesting. I suppose we should have a look at our leaders that have completely blitzed this field again. Julian out in the lead, a 1.5 second gap back to a day. But they're 16 seconds between first and third. That's a massive gap.
Yeah, it certainly is. They've shown the field how to do it again, these two.
Obviously, for these guys, they've missed all the drama that's happened at the back of the pack, pretty much actually straight from behind them. From third position, we've had dramas this race, which has helped them out, it's opened up the gap. Obviously, the best way to really kind of get in front of these guys is going to be to out-qualify them, which is going to be the biggest task, is to try and out-qualify them for the next round. Look who's brought himself back up into the top 10, Matthew Eden Hill. Fantastic drive to get back up there after a fair few incidents.
Yeah, no, he has. He's put his head down.
Chris Osborne's got the move done on Craig Hunter. Brilliant job there from Chris Osborne. I wonder if we can get that move up on the race recall replay for you. Yes, we can.
Yeah, he had a sensational run coming up out of the S's, as you can see.
Definitely a great move there. It looks like he's really squeezed him onto that inside line and then jumped back out on the outside to make sure he's got enough room.
Yeah, and he's got it done around the outside into the bus stop, so great move by Christopher Osborne. Brings him up into 5th spot.
Jonathan will be looking to get around very soon.
We've got George Maris, he's closing on Tony Ortridge at a great rate of knots. George Maris just done a 45 flat.
Yeah, that's his best lap of the race by 7 tenths. That's massive. Oh no.
He caught Tony Ortridge by 7 tenths that last lap.
Yeah, 1:44.947. He's really putting these lap times down.
There's 7 tenths again on Tony Ortridge.
Ian Ford joining the pack in a McLaren.
Yeah, he's had some dramas throughout the race. Ian Ford, he's a couple of laps down. I can't peel my eyes away from this battle between Tony Ortridge and George Maris. George has been quite aggressive, you could say, so far this race, and with only a couple of minutes remaining, I don't think he's going to hang around too long behind Tony.
No, he'll want that position, he'll want that podium. Tony Orchard will do his best to defend, but George Maris is definitely not forgiving when it comes to trying to get around someone. Wouldn't go as far to say he's a Paul Morris at the moment, but getting close.
Coming out of the boot, Christopher Osborne's had a big moment. We've got Jonathan Sahani up the inside of Craig Hunter.
So, not giving him much room there, Solani. He's got that move done.
He's got it done. Oh.
Brilliant move there. I think that's probably one of the first moves we've seen coming into that corner.
Osborne's making it hard for himself. He's ran very wide and Sahani's almost immediately onto the back of him.
You see Christopher Osborne's got some internal hate conflict going on.
Sorry, mate.
This is where it's getting interesting. George Maris, Tony Autridge. Nothing in it between these two guys. Another 3/10 cut into Tony Autridge there from George Maris. Salani made a move.
Yeah, he pulled out of it. He was trying to go around the outside of Osborne into the bus stop.
Looks like he's got a little bit of pressure now from Craig Hunter.
Oh, as Craig Hunter runs very wide, nearly crushes the fence.
And keep an eye on this George Maris, Tony Autridge battle. George Maris, probably about 2 car lengths between them. George Maris is ducking and weaving, letting him know that he's there, making sure he can see him in the mirrors.
Yeah, he's just poking the nose out, trying to rattle Tony Autridge. However, he's a pretty experienced sim racer. I don't think Tony will be rattled too much by that.
No, Tony Autridge, obviously from the TTR stable, very confident in what he does. Solid results every time he seems to come out. So good to see him out here in the GT3 cars.
Guy Leach and Mitchell there have been having a great battle back there in 8th and 9th position. Just behind them we've got Matthew Aaron Hill.
Yeah, still hasn't managed to break himself out of 10th yet, but definitely he'll be happy to be back up there.
I think this will be the penultimate lap. I think they'll get the white flag the next lap around.
I think I could let them go for another 15 minutes or half an hour.
Things are just warming up.
Yeah, these battles are Christopher Osborne loses a bit of speed there, goes a bit too hot into the bus stop. This is where it's going to get interesting because George Maris knows. Coming around to the white flag now, George Maris. He's going to know he needs to get this move done on Tony Autridge. And the other one that needs to get a move done is Jonathan Salini if he wants to get back around Christopher Osborne.
I mean, for the amount of accidents we've seen, we're still seeing some very good racing. Watkins Glen always provides that for us. That was never in doubt.
No, it's definitely been interesting, a little bit controversial, but interesting racing. So leaders have taken the white flag. Tony Autridge and George Maris. Tony Autridge weaving. Matthew Aaron Hill has a nice little battle here. Steve Hernan wants to get inside the top 10.
And 2 very similar painted cars, different teams though, those guys. Oh, we've got Sohani is weaving all over the track trying to fill Osborne's mirrors, heading into the bus stop. Seems to have lost a bit of time from doing that.
definitely burned him a little bit, but George Maris is right on the back of Tony Autry.
He's running out of corners to get this move done.
So we have a look at Julian, our race leader, who's completely dominated this race. Threes between him and his teammate. Comes around to the second last corner. Doing a fantastic job. Manages to keep her on the track for the last corner there. Day right behind him. So we have a flick back to Tony Autridge and George Maris. Maris really applying the pressure here to Tony Autridge, letting him know that he's there. So not going to have enough room to get this done. Tony Autridge is going to take his podium here at Watkins Glen. Fantastic drive there from Tony Autridge. George Maris coming in fourth. Right behind him, Christopher Osborne. Fantastic run. Made it really hard for himself, but he's managed to finish it off in fifth. Jonathan Salini, sixth. Craig Hunter, seventh. Guy lead. Mikkel, ninth. Matthew Erica Hill, 10th.
Wow, what a race.
Fantastic race. That was on all the way through from the time the drag flag dropped all the way through for that full 30 minutes. Probably could have gone for another 30 and it would have still been some very brutal battles up and down that field.
Yeah, definitely. Some of the incidents broke up some of those battle packs, but we saw some real good movers and shakers out there. Leo Gray's moved up 13 spots and Tom R. Jones 16 spots. Yeah, obviously with a few cars getting too much damage has helped them, but still, nonetheless, good racing by a lot of those guys.
Yeah, definitely a fantastic race from everyone. We'll quickly run through the results. Julian, our current series leader, comes out in first. Fantastic job by him. Massive margins a day. His teammate second. Again, fantastic race by him. Tony Autridge, brilliant to pull up a podium. In third, George Maris fourth. Christopher Osborne made it very hard for himself, but pulls it back up into fifth. Jonathan Salini, brilliant drive by him into sixth. Craig Hunter seventh. Guy Leach eighth. Mikkel ninth. Matthew Emilio Hill 10th.
Yeah, we'll go over the page. Steve Honan unlucky not to get 10th, but he's had to settle for 11th. Leo Gray up at the 12th. Michael Schreier in the 13th. 14th was Tom R. Jones. Cyril Rodriguez got himself a 15th. Danny Zelia 16th. Sismon Twats in 17th. 18th was Tim Hochstein. And Andrew Wren in 19th. And Gavin Saylor in 20th.
Sorry, screen's just gone blank there.
On the and 21st was Olga's Atkins in 21st. He was the last car on the lead lap. Every other car was quite a few laps down.
Yeah, a lot of accidents up and down that field. Obviously, the mixture of Watkins Glen, massive grid, and also a bit of international lag there made it a little bit more difficult for them. But definitely some moves in there that were a little bit Paul Morrissey, we'll say. And, you know, a certain thing probably should have been taken into consideration. But we did see some, although we saw some really bad moves at the bus stop, we saw some really fantastic moves where they've just managed to nail an overtake at that bus stop.
Yeah, no, most definitely. Yeah, I mentioned at the top of the broadcast there's a difference between just being fast and having good racecraft, and we saw a bit of that tonight. But still, definitely some fantastic racing out there. It's really enjoyed this class of car. How they are able to battle so closely. Yeah,
definitely. It's a fantastic series. This GT3 series, I absolutely love. I would love to hear some feedback from our community about what you think of the GT3 series. If you're loving the broadcast, if you should fire me and put someone else in instead. Um, but yeah, we would love to hear your feedback about it. Obviously, this is a new series for us. I think it's making for fantastic racing. I think it's some of the best racing that we've seen across nearly any series that we've had.
I don't fight Daniel. He's a terrific co-commentator, and he gives me terrific intro. So don't vote to fire Daniel. But yeah, I'm with you, Daniel. We've seen some great racing. It's only going to get better as this series progresses. Remember, it's still only in its first season on iRacing.
Yeah, definitely. And we're getting such a good mix now of internationals and Australians. So it's good to see that mashup of some different clubs that we don't normally see. We don't normally see that in the V8s. We might see a few Americans, but we don't really see the mashup that we get on this GT3 series. So I'm really loving it. Talking about GT3 series, next week we're going to Road America. Love that track. Absolutely fantastic. And another one that's kind of like Watkins Glen. There's some really long straights, some really sharp corners, and a lot of places where you can get some really good moves done.
Yeah, definitely. It's a another sort of favourite sort of track. It's got a lot of width to it, Road America, so it can provide good passing. Yeah, like you said, those long straights, that main straight, seems to go on forever. So might see a few more McLarens out there next week, hopefully.
Yeah, it would be good to see a few more McLarens out there running. Good to see some of the guys out there, though, running it. Unfortunate to Vale Richie, who was having a fantastic run in that McLaren. Obviously, fell to a bit of bad luck from a bus stop move. Which is unfortunate, but hopefully we'll see him out next week in the McLaren.
And of course, it's a enduro next week, 70 minutes long at Road America. But I'm going to put out an early shout out to Zandvoort a week after that, 30 minutes of Zandvoort. I haven't been back to Zandvoort in ages. I'm really looking forward to that race.
Zandvoort's a fantastic track. Probably not so... fantastic to watch if you're watching the V8 supercars. Awful to race if you're in the V8 supercar. But for the GT3s and like the prototypes and anything that's got a fair bit of downforce behind it, it's actually really quite fun.
Yeah, that's why I'll put a shout out. Anyone that's thinking of joining this series, practice for Zandvoort. It's going to be an epic race.
Yeah, it definitely is. Obviously, a little bit harder to get around people at Zandvoort as well. We probably see some very similar racing to what we saw at Brands Hatch. So it's definitely going to be a very interesting one to watch.
Of course, we got the replay. The NASCAR iRacing NASCAR series was on today from America. The American guys are able to put that up. So check out that replay. It's up on Facebook page.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on our Facebook, on our YouTube, which is youtube.com/v8sonline, and also on our Facebook, on our website as well, www.v8sonline.com.au. There's a little tick in there for NASCAR. There's a few teething issues there with them learning the broadcast. Would love the feedback about how that's going. Anything we could do to improve that one as well. Really, really great racing though. Really, really high strength of fields. Fantastic to watch. Some brilliant tracks. Next week they go to Las Vegas, which I love. I love that style of oval. So definitely tune in for that one. Obviously being around midday lunch time for us on a Thursday, for a lot of Australians that's a bit hard. So do what the Americans do on a Monday. Just watch the replay. Check it out. See what you think. Give us a bit of feedback about it. Our next broadcast is V8 Americas on Saturday, which is really great to watch if you want to get a bit of a intro to what's going to happen on a Monday night. Where are we off to for the V8 Supercars?
At Circuit Jules Villeneuve, Montreal in Canada.
Oh, another brilliant track. I've got to say, now that we actually have even more tracks added to the iRacing service, nearly every track that we get, you're just like, oh, I love that track. Before you'd do 12 races and you'd be looking on, oh, I really don't want to do that one. Now you're just looking at them going, they're all amazing. Like the lineup, obviously we go to Montreal. The next one after that's the big one, going to Bathurst, which is going to be amazing. Yep. Always is. And then, Mid-Ohio and Sonoma's on there. They're just all fantastic tracks. So really brilliant season there lined up for the V8 supercars. But I think it's about time to sign off. Brooksy, what do you reckon?
Yeah, mate. Had a ball once again. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to next one. I'm going to have to rethink a new intro for you. Keep it interesting. Thanks for everyone for logging in and joining us. Make sure you head over to our Facebook page, facebook.com/v8sonline. Leave feedback about the series or what you think we could do to improve V8 Online. We always love hearing your feedback. Or if you just love it and you just want to say you love it, put that on there as well. We're going to sign off for the night. Thanks for joining me, Brooksy. Thanks to Seb for directing tonight. We'll catch up with all you guys next week.